Everybody, good morning from Bangkok. Yes, I know it ships. I get a prompt every I get a message every time something is ordered, every time something is getting ready to ship, every time something ships. So that's good to know. It should be to you in a couple of days. As you can see, the reason I'm outside is because today is a very, very cloudy day. It's a, it's a cloudy day, and the forecast for the next week is lots of rain, lots of bad weather, stormy weather. So, you take the good with the bad. Hopefully it'll cool off a little. It seems to be a little bit cooler now. Yeah, here I am. Pretty harsh background, but I'll go inside in a few minutes. Back in Bangkok. And, it's good to be home, I'll say that. It's good to be where there's air conditioning. But I do like being out there in the middle of nowhere. I like being out where there's not many people. Harsh, thank you. That's the description of me. If somebody says one word to describe yourself, harsh. All right, so hey, check it out. New t-shirt, it's in. I'll show you the new hat. I got the hat inside. I meant to bring it outside, but I forgot. And we got a little 24-hour sale going on. For the next 24 hours, get your merch 10% off. The link is pinned. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. And yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff, and I got some new stuff coming up. I got postcards, I got jigsaw puzzles, I might even have towels, I don't know. So I got all kinds of stuff coming up on the site, which is good, I guess. Let's see here. Right now, the Thai baht is 33.74 to the dollar. Air quality is 59. It's 80 degrees, high 88, low is 77. The feel like temperature right now is 87. Humidity is 89%. Visibility is 10 miles. There's 100%, honestly, 100% chance of rain. That's what the forecast is. Stormy weather all this week, as I said. UV index is 3, and the wind is, well, I don't see any wind right now, but it's supposed to be 10 miles an hour to the south. So now you know what the setting is here for this stream. It's not nearly as hot as it was in Suratani. And today we're going to talk about, well, I got a letter. And I'm about 99.9% sure that this was a legitimate letter, because the guy, we've emailed back and forth a couple of times, and seems like a nice guy. And I think he just wanted to know what he could expect. And so I'll read that in a little while. Also, I'll talk about, what I learned when I was in Suratani, things that I've forgotten about. And also the news. And a couple other things. What is this you got here? Chowderhead and Easter mattresses due to the amount of chowder. Actually, Steve, there is another definition of it, and it basically just means a foolish person. I don't know. I got a shirt that has the alternative definition of it. I don't remember it word for word, but basically it means an idiot or a foolish person. And we're trying to get away from that. Men need to stop being idiots. And, it's very easy. You know, it's simple as that. Women are. It's been happening for thousands of years. It's never going to stop. There's always going to be guys who can't help themselves. Let's see here. I'm going to go in here in a second. I think Starbucks is starting to get really busy. They've got bags and bags lined up. They had a lady come in with 2 huge boxes that she had to carry out of stuff, and this is the first time. Yes, I know the genesis, Steve, but thank you. I do know the genesis of it, and it's pretty interesting. And I really, for the life of me, don't remember why all of a sudden I just popped off and said the word Chowderhead. Because I don't remember saying it for many, many years. You know, it's like Chowderhead. Okay, Knucklehead's comes a little easier. You know, I grew up in Miami, so words like putz, schmecklehead, those kind of words were used around me quite often. But yeah, I hope I'm not orange. I hope I'm a little bit reddish orange. I did get a lot of sun there, and at times that wasn't fun. Fortunately for me, the old lady brought a little tube of SPF, you know, sunblock, and it was 50. I had some 70, but it's a big can. Actually, Chuck left it behind because he didn't want to carry it with him. He left a couple of cans behind, and so I had this can, and I mean, it was big, it was heavy because it's almost full. In fact, it is full, and I didn't want to bring it with me. I was trying to travel light, so which, you know, is always it's always something that I fight with, because I try not to bring too much equipment, but I got to bring certain equipment, you know, certain types of equipment, and then I'm like, should I bring this one or that one? And one's heavier than the other, but the other one's a shitty, you know, like my tripod. I got a little shitty little tripod. I was like, oh, I'll bring this one, but then I could have used a taller tripod. So there's always trade-offs when you're traveling, especially when you're bringing equipment with you. And I've really narrowed it down now, but you know, I carry very little stuff with me anymore. I don't really care as much about going out and taking photos there. Hey, Carlos, how you doing? Let me go inside here. I got my, hopefully the audio's okay. I got my lav mic pinned to me. And, yeah, it's going to be a little clumsy here. Ugh. My hands are full. I don't want to spill the espresso. There's nobody here. There's just the 2 staff members, and that's it. But like I said, they got all kinds of grab drivers and grab bags just sitting there. Yeah, let's talk about Songkran a little bit. It's funny because Carlos is talking about how tired he is. And I'll tell you what, I saw 2 kids on the side of the road in Suratani, and one of them was half asleep because we went by one time and the kid was basically knocked out. The next time we went by, he kind of popped up and then he grabbed some water and tried to throw it. But that was it. I didn't see anybody else throwing water, nobody throwing powder for sure, but just those 2 little kids on the side of the road in the same place throwing water. There was no celebration that I saw. This is in, I went to all over Suratani. I was in Trang, and I didn't see really anybody. Hang on a second. Let me see something here. And I didn't see anybody playing in water. I know it was a little bit different down in Khao San Road, Pattaya, and apparently where Carlos was. But like in my village, nobody was getting hammered. I mean, nobody was running around. Yeah, it was shocking, to be honest. Really strange. So, like I said, before I go on here, do me a favor, if you like the stream, you like what I'm doing, click like. Don't forget to check out, let me see if I can find it real quick. You should be able to. Yeah, I put this up twice. I put it up once with music and once without music. But if you want, check out, this is how they make sticky rice. If you haven't seen it already, it's how they make sticky rice. And this is like the old way, basically. And very interesting to me. I got a lot of videos coming up, man. A lot of them. Hopefully you guys will like them. I'm getting the gist that some people want to hear about chowderheads, and they want to hear about chicks, and you know, and I've said it, you know, 1,000 times already. It's not, I don't appreciate the, you know, the beauty of a woman, but you know, I am married, and so I'm not thinking about that all the time. I get whatever I need at home, and I'm very busy at home. Alex was alone for this trip, and he basically just went out a couple times to do his thing, get some food, stuff like that. And Nicholas went with us, which was, it was strange. It was strange. But you know, one thing that I remember now is, while our family is very tight, but you know, when you go into the village and you got people coming and you're like, and they know you, but you don't remember them. Hey, Andy. They know you and you don't remember them. And I'm like, how do these people know me? I'm like, what's that guy's name? A lot of the time, I don't even know their name. And even my wife will go, I don't remember her name. You know, it's kind of like the branding thing. It's, you know, they got nicknames and real names. And, you know, you just go, oh, that's so-and-so's brother's wife. You know. But the family as a whole is so important there. I mean, we got together once, and there was about 20, 25 people together, all eating and having a good time. And I just don't do that very often. And it reminded me of back home with my parents, when my parents would have their friends come over, and we'd have a dozen people sitting at the table or something like that. It reminded me of that. All having a good time. Nobody gives a shit about anything about, you know, what's going on. Nobody's really angry about anything. It's just having a good time. A couple beers, a little bit of Lao Cow. Yes, Gennaro, thank you for ruining it. But yes, I mean, we already knew that it was Pak Meng Beach. I'm not going to say that I love that beach, but it was just that it's a different place. I do have video of that place, me doing a walk around. I got a walk around from the village. I got the fruit tour, which was very extensive and really interesting. What I found the most interesting about some of the video footage that I took was this guy, his nickname is Dumb because his skin is dark. And I think he's the only guy who's my age. He might be slightly older than me. And he was talking about the Kratom plant. And he told me about the pricing and about how things are and what to look for and why he uses it and all this other kind of stuff. It was really interesting. So that's about a 10-minute video. But then I also have, Nicholas and I did try Kratom. And to be honest, I would have liked to brought a whole bag back, and I just didn't think about it. But I would have liked to have taken a bag back, and you know, for those not so fresh moments, because man, I mean, it's not like Coke where you're like gritting your teeth, and it's nothing like that. It's very mild. It's like having a good cup, a really strong 2 cups of coffee, but you don't have the jitters. I may get into that a little bit more when I go back, because we're looking to go back in July or August. And I don't think I put up the video, but I'm going to put up a video. It's just a link to a video that's on YouTube and it's my wife's brother's, so it would be my sister-in-law, and she's the woman who was telling me about all the elephants. And so I did see it on her phone, but my wife sent me a link to the video last night, and it was really interesting because you can see the elephants in mass in this video, and in the beginning of the video, I guess one of the elephants charged a girl and actually gave her a little bit of a stomping. She was driving by on a motorcycle, and so that was kind of interesting. But so I'm gonna show some footage from there. That should be nice. But anyway, I have to add that a lot of people are still having a hard time from the impact of COVID. People are still struggling for basics, even food. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess in the city maybe it's a little bit worse, because out there, like where my wife was, man, everybody has food. There's food on their land. You just go out and they get vegetables. They have a little bit of money. They buy some eggs. Maybe they buy some meat. Even the guy that was with us, who is, let me think again what he is. He would be my wife's uncle. So that would make him my uncle-in-law. And he was a guy, and I think I have some footage of his place, and it was out in it was the worst road. It was basically just a dirt road it was horrible. And we got there, it's all muddy, and he's got this place, he's actually got two little places. And he's just out there in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, how does this guy survive? My wife goes, he's got a little beater motorcycle. If he has to, he goes into the little market that's, a ways away. It's an hour away. But he's got fruit and veg. He's got chicken on his property. And so he just goes out and kills himself a chicken. Or goes back in the water in the back and catches a little fish or something. And that's how he eats. It's a hard life, It's a hard life, really. Ever try betel nut? Yes, I have, and I don't like it. I really don't like it. It's not the most appealing thing. I'd much rather throw a couple of leaves of Kratom in my mouth than betel nut. And I did, I have a video that's coming up. Yes, they do. I have a video that's coming up, and I see this plant, or this tree rather. I see this tree up in, and it's a big tall tree, and I look up and I go, oh, I didn't know, I don't remember oranges growing like that, but it was bright orange. And I was like, oh, maybe there's some kind of, different strain of orange, some Thai strain of an orange. And so then I noticed there was some on the ground, and I picked it up and I go, this ain't no orange, And I bring it in, and the guys tell me what it is in Thai, and I don't understand it. And he uses an axe to chop open everything. So he gets this axe, he chops it, this is like a little orange about that big. It's a little bit smaller than a tennis ball. It's like the size of a lime or a lemon. And he chops it open, and I go, oh, it's a nut. And then I started thinking, my wife goes, oh, that's the stuff they use that to colorize, for color in paint. And he goes, and the guy goes, oh, the Burmese like this, but Thais also eat it, and the teeth get all red. And I said, it's betel nut. And so they were like, oh, do you want some? I'm like, nah, I don't want any of that stuff. So they had betel nut all over the place, but there's betel nut on my wife's property. It's everywhere. And I think she's told me it sells for 40 baht a kilo. So if you have, say 50 kilos of betel nut, then you get a couple thousand baht, All right, so I'm going to go over this guy's message, but first let me give you one piece of news here, if I can make sure I bring it up here. Let's see. Okay. From the Bangkok Post, it says, tourists are delaying their foreign trips because of the rising costs. Costs are rising here, food costs are rising, gas prices, all kinds of prices are rising. Surging costs in a fragile economy are forcing travelers to delay their trips abroad despite pent-up demand, says the Thai Travel Agents Association. Only high-income travelers are still taking trips abroad as usual, but lower-income segments tend to be more price-conscious as the economic fallout is affecting their salaries and jobs. The cost of outbound packages has soared above pre-pandemic levels, largely because of higher airfares. Costs have also risen for the tour industry's land operations, which includes hotels, guide services, tickets, and transport at some destinations, alongside different testing requirements which tourists have to pay for. If the government cancels the Test and Go scheme by May 1st, which that's probably going to happen, assuming that things don't get too crazy because of the holiday, outbound tourists should reach 1 million this year, which could help more tour operators to restart their businesses. So basically, it's too expensive for people to travel. They really don't want to. They don't want to be spending their money right now, which is understandable. And I'm waiting. We're waiting. We're all waiting for April 22nd, which is Friday. Friday, the CCSA, the COVID Center for Situation Awareness, has a meeting, and they're going to decide what to do. Apparently, now there has been a change, and that is that normally when you would come in, you had to come in on a certain date. Well, now if you fill in your Thailand pass, your Test and Go, your what's the sandbox or whatever, you'd have to come in on that day. But now if you change your plans, you have 1 week leeway, which is okay. That's great, but it's not enough. And I'm telling you, the masks alone is a huge turnoff. You got people all on the train with masks. You still got people, they're out on the beach in masks, and I'm like, foreigners ain't putting up with this. They're not gonna do this. So you know, I wouldn't expect things to get better, all that much better this year. I mean, they will get better, but I don't think it's going to take until maybe the end of next year, and then hopefully things will be just like they used to be, and they'll get rid of the insurance requirement and that sort of thing. But we'll see. Also, the roof caved in on Don Mueang Airport. It says here the roof of a new bus terminal collapsed as heavy rains hit parts of Bangkok on Monday night. It's not really all that surprising. Our house occasionally has leaks, and it's starting to be a bit of a hassle because we have to get it fixed, and then, you know, it starts leaking later on down the road, and we've been there for a while. We need to move. My wife and I need to move, and the kids, or at least one of the kids, I don't know. We're going to have to move in probably this year, which I'm not looking forward to, because moving sucks. I mean, it's nice to get in there. It's kind of like traveling. If you're traveling and you got to go through, you know, what do you call them people? Those people in the United States where you got to go through them. They check all your stuff when you're going through. I can't even remember now. I haven't been in the United States for so long. You know, the people who are making sure you're not doing it. Yeah, TSA. Thank you. I'm telling you, my memory's going. Isn't what airline the bikini-clad flight attendants? I don't know. I thought that was a Vietnamese thing or something. I don't remember. I can't keep up with all this shit. My memory, I don't, you know, I was thinking about it and I thought, why is it I don't care? You know why? Because I don't want to remember a lot of stuff. I don't want to pack my brain. I got enough things going on in my brain without having to worry about stuff that if I really want, I can just look it up or ask somebody, you know, unless it's really important. All right, so, you know, it's not a big surprise that Don Mueang, there was a part that collapsed. I like Jetstar Asia. I like them. I've always had good experiences on their airline. All right, so let's get away from the news for a moment. Let's read this and let's get to something a little more fun. When I first got this, I didn't really know what to expect. But this guy, we'll call him Joe. That's his real name. Hi, Scott. You don't know me, but I'm hoping you will be willing to give me advice. And I honestly did not email the guy back for a couple of days because I thought, I don't know if I want to get into this. So if you're willing to advise a stranger, the short of it is, my wife has asked for a divorce. This is very recent. This is a couple days ago. Once it's final, I want to meet and marry a woman in Thailand who has kids or can and wants to get pregnant. Now, why you would, I don't know. I mean, why you would want to just, okay, I want to be with a woman who's got kids already so that I can have a ready-made family. I understand you got to go through the pregnancy and the birth and all that if it's your kid, but isn't that the way that, I don't know, I think that's kind of the normal way. You don't think, I'm going to find me a woman who's got a couple of kids because I want a ready-made family. So that alone, I was like, okay, you must really want kids pretty badly. I mean, what is the reasoning for that? Well, I'm already married. And, if my wife didn't make me a better person, I wouldn't have been with her. Let's see here. Why his reasons for getting married? Listen. In this day and age, if you want to get married right now, I have to question what the motive is, and also, well, that in itself. There you go. Yeah, that was another thing, but. I just say, well, okay, if you want to do, I'm not going to be the guy's psychologist. I don't want to know everything about him, and I've already done this shit in the past, and I don't want to get into it again. But, all right, so that's that's a red flag. And then the fact that he wants to be with a chick who's got kids already is a bit of a red flag as well. It's not a bit of a red flag, it is a red flag. Assuming there's no quarantine and flights are permitted, how realistic is it for a man in his 50s to meet a woman in Thailand who is in her 30s? It's very realistic. It's a piece of cake. I mean, really, if you really want to, it's not that difficult. Now, it's about the quality of woman. Because if she's older and she's a quality woman, why is she single? Well, she's probably single because she either dumped her husband, he dumped her, they divorced for whatever reason. And, if she's a little older, like in her 30s, she probably has kids. Not all of them do, but let's just face it. By the time they're 35, 37, most women, they popped out a kid or two or three. But it is very, not about how many, but about the quality. Yeah. But it's very simple. I mean, if you want, however, if you want to get some girl who is desperate for somebody to take care of her, she's, dirt poor, she doesn't have a way to make it, and she's struggling. Okay, I mean, listen, just go out to Isan somewhere. Drive around, tell somebody you're available, you want a good-looking, cute girl, you don't care if she's got a couple of kids, and boom, you'll be hooked up. Although, that's not the smartest move. All right, I'm going to have to wait to read all these comments. To me, that's not a very smart move, because if you're in your 50s, you don't want to be going through the hassle. Who the hell wants to go to... Listen, let's face facts. If you're with some chick who is available in the pay-for-play industry, there are some good girls out there, but there are a hell of a lot more girls that they're going to run this poor guy ragged. He's not going to know what the hell to do with himself, what the hell to do with her. And I always say, if you want to get involved with somebody who is, they're working in the industry, you damn sure better know what you're doing. And that takes, that takes a few trips to Thailand. It takes at least a minimal knowledge of Thai. And I think that that's something else that's very important. But okay, let me go on here. How realistic is it? It's realistic. If a woman is older than that, as you know, the odds of getting pregnant drop. Well, I don't even know that it's the odds of getting pregnant drop, although I think that is true. I think it's that it gets more dangerous the older they get. Somebody in the family, when we were down in Surat, asked me, "Oh, you don't want a little girl?" And I go, "Hey, my wife is a little bit too old now. I don't think," and I damn sure, she just told me the other day, she goes, I don't know what I was thinking when I said I wanted a third kid, 10, 12 years ago. She's like, "Oh, you don't want a little girl?" And I was like, "No, I don't. We can barely afford 2. I mean, 3 is another story." And not only that, there's no guarantee it's going to be a female. And then if it's a female, anyway, I digress. He's looking to get somebody pregnant. My plan would be now this is where I really went, okay. First of all, he's jumping from one to the next, but this is what really got me here. My plan would be to make 2 visits. One this summer to find a woman and get the okay from her parents to proceed with the courtship. Then after my divorce, I fly back to get married and then either stay in Thailand or bring her to America. So he's going to come for a summer. Let's say it's 2 months, 3 months. Again, if you want to get some girl who needs a man, I went back and forth with this guy a little bit. I don't know that he's trying to trigger me to do anything or whatever, because it's not going to. And okay, I'm reading it. It's just a little bit of fodder. But other than that, so let me go on here. He's saying that in the summer he's going to meet a girl and he's going to go home with her, see the parents, and proceed with the courtship. He's going to ask for their blessing. Now, the problem with that is if you meet a good chick, like I'm talking about an educated girl, she speaks some English, she's got a job, she's not hustling you for support, and you both really are into each other, you can't put a timeline on it. Now, if she's a chick who is from a lower income background, or she's working in a bar or something like that, okay, you can. You just promise her the world. You show her a little something. Okay, honey, I'm going to give you this much every month, and darling, I love you. We're going to get married and move to America, and then you throw her 15,000 baht, and you go, but you should be okay with this. I just don't see it happening. The timeline itself, it's like you're rushing it. It's like, like JRD said, it's like you're hopping from one frying pan to the next. It's like, Jesus Christ, you get out of a marriage. Now, who knows? He could have been working on it. They could have been working on their marriage, and the wife's just like fed up, and she goes, I've had enough. I don't want to try anymore. Hey, Dre, how you doing? I don't want to get married. Enough is enough. I mean, I don't want to stay married. Enough is enough. Let's get divorced. So he's jumping to the next, and I think it's because he doesn't like to be alone. But here he is, like, I'm gonna go home and with the girl and get the parents' blessing, and then after my divorce, I fly back to get married, and then either stay in Thailand or bring back to America. Now, number one, to stay in Thailand takes money, and it takes you should. I can't complain. To stay in Thailand is not an easy thing for most people. especially if you don't have any money coming in. Believe me, I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've had money, not had money. I've been in the middle, all ends of the spectrum. And I tell you what, the last thing you want to worry about here is, oh, I got this girl, and I don't know how the hell I can make ends meet, but I'm going to find a job. I'm going to teach English. You know, it just doesn't work that way. You know, it's very difficult. And then as far as bringing her back to America, I don't know if there's any kind of a queue, like a long queue with the American embassy, but there was because of COVID. In fact, Thais weren't even allowed in. They weren't allowed to get a visa in the very beginning. And apparently he doesn't know anything about Thailand, and I'll tell you why in a moment when I read on. But all in all, I mean, you know, like I thought, I think this is a legitimate letter. I don't think he's just, you know, because it's not too far off the spectrum. It's not something really that crazy. I can see where a guy, you know, a guy who maybe has this perception of Thailand. All right, Carlos, take it easy, man. We'll talk later. When are you going to be back in Pattaya? In the first week of May, or are you going to be back anytime in the next couple of weeks? Anyway, let me go on and read this before I lose my train of thought. Yes, I could try dating in America, but I can't. This really gets me. But I can't waste any more time. And as you know, women here are after money and have plenty of options on Tinder. Women want, it's not necessarily the cash, it's success, it's like the ability to take care of her, the ability to show that you can man up when necessary, show that you're willing to be, you know, at least a team player, and that you will bend over backwards to do whatever is necessary for the family. Yeah, that's kind of what I was. Well, you'll see. You'll see how I respond. But the thing is that it's like everybody needs money. It's not different here. And you know that there are women in Thailand who they would never dream of meeting somebody in a bar and taking them home. Well, I don't know about that. They would not think so much about meeting some guy at Starbucks or in the mall or at some bar somewhere. They wouldn't think, I'm going to go and I'm going to bang this guy right now. But when they go on Tinder, they can tell you anything, or whatever it's Tinder or Thai Friendly or whatever the ones. I don't even know all these fucking things now. But, you know, one of the apps in Thailand, you know, you meet up with the girl and it's like, chances are she's either a hoe who wants money, or she just wants to get laid and she wants it to be done somewhat anonymously. So she doesn't give you a real name, she doesn't do any of that shit. She just, my name is Josie, and I want you to check out my pussycats. My name's Josie. Okay, your name's Josie. You know, you don't know. She don't want to know. All she wants to do, she just wants to get laid by some new guy. She's like, maybe she wants to try out a foreigner. Maybe she wants to try out, you know, whoever. So that's how she does it. But there are other options, that's the point. So if I wait too long, I will be less able to run around with my kids. In other words, because he's in his 50s, he doesn't want to wait too long because, and I understand that, you know, you're 58 years old and you have a kid, by the time they're 17, you're 75. It's not like you're going to be hauling ass around with the kids. And I know this because I can't do the same shit that I did with my kids when they were 8, 9, 10 years old. And fortunately, I timed it right to where I got old and now they're grown up. It helps that I love the Thai culture and food. No, it doesn't help. I hate to tell you this, it doesn't help. Um, your love of Thai culture. Okay, that's, oh, I love Thai culture. I love Thai culture. There you go. There's my hat. I love Thailand. I need to get one that says Thailand is paradise just for, what's his name? The Renegade. There you go. So there's the new hat. For now, it comes in 2 colors. I think it comes in 4 colors, actually. Pink, blue, beige, and this is like a gray. So there we go. I love Thailand. It helps that I love the Thai culture and food. Well, if you hate the culture, it's not a great thing, but I know guys who hate the culture, and they're still here, they're still married. I've known guys that are married to Thai women and they hate the culture. They absolutely hate it. I knew one guy, he's passed away now, he hated the culture. He hated how Thai women were, and he just hated everything about it. And I'm like, well, what the hell did you come here for, and what the hell? Well, it used to be good, that kind of thing. So that's and then he says, please tell me if I'm nuts. So originally I was just going to write him back and say, yeah, you're nuts. And that was all I was going to write. And then I thought, nah, I'll give him a response. I'm going to try being nice. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try being nice. Now let's see if I can find it. Okay, so now let me give you the response. But let me read some of these messages from you guys real quick. Can't put a timeline on meeting the right woman. It has to happen organically. Yes, definitely. New York, oh, I want to see Kai. Yes. Well, that's the thing. My wife has seen New York. She's achieved all her life's goals. No, actually, she wants to go back. She's like, okay, well, if things get better, we're going to go back to America, right? I'm like, yeah, I want to go back. I want to go back to see my parents, but I don't know if we'll be stopping in New York or not, but we might go somewhere else. So, and that's okay. A 30-year-old woman doesn't need her parents' blessing. In Thailand, they might. There are some who are like little girls, man. And they really, when I first met my wife, it was the sister who was like, she found out that we were sleeping together. And she's like, you're going to have to marry her, you're going to have to do this, you're going to have to do that. And my wife just basically told her, don't worry about it, mind your own business, and I'll talk to our mother myself. And she did, and the rest is history. This guy's crazy. 30s up should be sin-sod exempt. Well, nowadays, even below that age might be sin-sod exempt, some of them, but it really depends, because this is the thing, a lot of the Thais, they expect, because you're a foreigner, that some of the rules don't apply, like, oh, she's blown more foreigners than a glass blower has blown glass, and she thinks that that's okay, that she's still worth certain amount of money, or but she's been nailed more than a freaking house with too many nails. That doesn't fly in Thai culture. I mean, one guy even is like, it used to be that they were a virgin, and that's what you wanted. And then you've got to pay up. Let's see here. A man should be comfortable on his own. Don't need a woman by your side all the time. No, but it is nice to have a good woman by your side. But yeah, you should be capable of being alone. Sometimes, listen, that's the thing is my wife goes off and does her own thing. Sometimes I go off, might do my own thing. Sometimes I'm like, man, I really like it. And then when I come home, I'm like, fantastic, It's great to be home. Let me go over here. Clung to your hotties, just like that. Gonna come here and stay. Yeah. Finally a Chowderhead video. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, TKO Sam. Hey, how you doing, man? Hey, thanks a lot for joining. Oh, thank you. I'm getting closer to 50. I want 50 members. I'm getting closer and closer. I think I'm at like 35 now. Thank you very much, Choke D. Heading to the market. Catch you later. Oh, well, this is a long time ago. As it's different in Thailand. Jonaro. My name is Apple. I have OnlyFans site. Me not have OnlyFans. Thailand cannot. If I'm show everything, I'm have big problem. Well, I'm glad it brightened up your day there, Sammy. How you doing? Oh shit. Let's see here. Until you spend extended period of time with Thai girlfriend, you probably can't have an idea of what the culture is. Here's the thing. Breakfast has been eaten. It was a tuna fish sandwich, which wasn't very good. It's a Starbucks tuna fish sandwich, but I'm trying to eat a bit healthier, and I didn't want to eat any of their shit food, and they didn't have any yogurt, and they don't have any Starbucks water, which is why I'm drinking water out of the thing here. I refuse to pay $2.50 for a freaking Evian, bottle of Evian, when you're already paying almost $1 for a crappy normal water that's probably $5. And if you want to get on that subject, let's face facts. The whole water thing is a scam, because there's a lot of water that's perfectly drinkable, but yet for some reason we have to pay for it. You can think about something. Back in the United States, do you just meet a chick, and whether it's in a bar, whether it's at school, and immediately you let her into your life, you decide, wow, I want to be with this chick forever, all in a period of, say, a month, and then you say, oh, for the next month, we're going to go down and meet her parents, and I'm going to sway her parents into allowing me to marry her, and then boom, you get married. No, it doesn't happen. And now you're talking about a girl who may not understand the language, English. You don't understand her language. I have not tried it. I don't generally drink anything but espresso. I don't know what they have here for cold brew. Do they have any cold brew here? I think some of them have it. I don't know if all of them have it. Well, people say no, don't drink the tap water here, but when you brush your teeth, I'm not using bottled water. When I'm taking a shower, the water goes in my mouth and I swill it around in my mouth. I'll spit it out, but I'm sure that sometimes I drink a little bit and it doesn't do anything to me. So, I don't know. Maybe long term, I don't know. I think it's a scam. All in all, maybe in some places it's necessary, like Flint, Michigan. But it is suicide to go from a divorce straight into another marriage. Yeah, talk about rebound. This man needs a few years of healing before marrying again. He should have a few fun years and acclimate to Thailand first. That's the Pat Pong version hat. Actually, I was hoping that, I already tried it on my wife, this hat, and she looks better in it than me because of the distressed stuff. Let's see here. She's blown more guys than Moby Dick. These are some killer analogies. Scott is indeed my hot dad in Asia. It's scary. Those don't count as analogies. Thank you for speaking the truth. Scott, guess who just joined? Yes, thank you. Blah, 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 blah. Let's get the thumbs up. Only 15 now. Yeah, what's up, man? And Sammy is the only guy who, has done anything? Come on, guys. Get a shirt or something. Do something. As my friend says, show the love. And what is the other one? I really like this one, but this doesn't really apply for the stream. But I like this, the way that they talk about this. Oh, I can't do it because I don't have my hard drive here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Not important. Let's see here. Scott is a badass. Yes. And having this badge has brightened my day. Oh, let's get the thumbs up. Scott, how's it going? What's on the agenda? What's breakfast? Okay, I passed that already. I'm doing good, dude. Just hanging out. Are you still in Japan, or what's the deal? Scott, have you tried the nitro? No, I haven't. What? Wait, is the tap water okay to drink? In Japan, it's okay. Okay. Some Starbucks don't have it. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately. But you know what? I tell you something. I'm dirty on Starbucks. I mean that. They're the one place that is open right now that has a nice, comfy chair that is fairly vacant in the morning when I want to come, and in a good location. And that's why I come here. The coffee it's consistent. It's average every single time. Other than that, everything else I don't particularly like. I don't like their pricing. I don't think that their pricing is really, I think they're overpriced. I think they've got this air of superiority. And I understand they got a huge network, and you know, it's a huge franchise. Most of their food is junk food. They got the yogurt with the Greek yogurt with honey, which, okay, you know, in a pinch with a little granola, it's not a bad breakfast. Other than that, I mean, you have a croissant, it's not terrible, but I mean, it ain't good for you really. So all of their food is basically, and now they have a little tiny salad, which is like $4 for a little, it's like this big, the salad. And it's like, you know, 135 baht. So really, that has, their pricing has put me off. And then, you know, okay, they got orange juice, they got apple juice, that's nice once in a while. But, you know, let's face it, they got a little bottle of orange juice, it's 90 baht. That's almost $3. I can buy a big box of orange juice for $1.80. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little dirty on Starbucks, but I digress once again. Yeah, dude, I'm still here. It's been raining on and off all week. Yeah, it's going to be raining here all week. This is going to be the only day of the week with no rain, so I'm just getting my ducks in order before I head out. Yeah, wow. New staff here. They're all over the place, and plus right now it's the Songkran festival, so some of the people, I believe, have taken off some extra time, so they're not going to be back for, you know, maybe they won't even be back all this week. They're taking their vacation pay with the, you know, that kind of thing. The water treatment people in Thailand always say the water that leaves their facilities is potable, but that they can't vouch for the distribution systems run by the municipalities. Yeah, there you go. It could just accidentally run through that dirty clong that runs behind your house. Men and women are said to speak different languages, but when they really do, the situation can be a nightmare. You can't rely on Google Translate to get your point across. It often ends in trouble. I would say that the biggest problem that I ever had with women in the very beginning here had nothing to do with money. It all had to do with miscommunication. You know, they would say, well, I'm going to come over tomorrow. Is that okay? And I'm thinking, at the time I was thinking, they don't want to come over tomorrow, or they're going to come over later today, and then they don't. And I'm like, you said you're coming over. No, I didn't. I said I'm coming over tomorrow. That kind of thing. So communication is important here. And the only way you're going to be able to really communicate fully is if you speak the language. And even then, they don't communicate the same way we do. There are differences. Like I always say, they're wired differently. They sometimes want exactly what we want, but they go about things differently because they're wired differently. Well, at the end of the day, places like this are able to charge shit like that because you are paying for the rent of being able to sit there, not paying for the quality, just the comfort. Exactly. That's very true, Sam. Did you see the documentary Watch the Water about snake venom? No, I did not. It's much better to communicate in simple baby talk than use translations. Well, I guess. Very frustrating having to backpedal on misconstrued statements. Yeah, it can be. And let me tell you, that's one of the reasons why I learned how to speak Thai. And now my wife's English is proficient enough to where I'd say 98% of the time she understands everything I'm saying and vice versa. The 2% I can ask, 1% I can ask my kids to help me out with the translation, and the other 1% we got to figure it out ourselves. So it works pretty well when it comes to that. If you ask a Thai woman in English if she is upset with you, she thinks you are saying that she has upset you. There are many examples like this. Well, sometimes they do. I think it also depends on the woman. And also how you ask it, specifically how you ask. There's a lot of, language is a very intricate pursuit, specific, very detail oriented, and people's perception might be different than, if you say it's red, they're thinking bright red like, fire engine red. You say red, you're talking about like brick red. Well, there's a difference. So even when you communicate and you get some of it right, it's not always right. And let me read back what I wrote to this guy, all right, before I forget about it. Hello, Newman. His name is Newman. It is reasonable here for an older man to meet and marry a younger woman. To find a good younger woman who is worth marrying and who wants to marry you is a different story, especially if you do not speak the language and you have limited time. The time factor is one reason why I think a lot of guys rush things, because they're so worried about their girl running off with someone else, banging all kinds of guys or whatever, that they feel like they've got to take care of things right that minute. So they're here for 2 weeks, they fall in love, the girl's like, oh yeah, I like this guy, and he's got money, he's okay. They go back home and they're like, oh, I miss you. Oh, don't go with anybody, don't find another man. And then they're like, the girl's like, well, I gotta do what I gotta do, but okay, I miss you too. And after a month, the guy's like a blob of quivering nothing, and he's like, let's get married, and that'll change everything. Yeah, it sure will. It'll change everything. You say women here are after money and have plenty of options on Tinder. Do you honestly believe a good woman here isn't going to be interested in money? There are numerous apps here where men hook up with Thai girls looking to make money or simply for fun. They're not stupid and they know their value, just like in the West. Expecting to come here for a summer to find a woman worth marrying is a long shot, in my opinion. If you want a low-income farm girl who is willing, in other words, she's poor, so she needs you so she can do the Jane Jefferson, or whatever the hell Jefferson's wife's, Wheezy Jefferson. She wants to do a Wheezy Jefferson. Some of you might be too young to remember that. If you want a low-income farm girl who is willing to marry almost anyone as long as they'll take care of her, it's relatively easy to find one. How trustworthy and intelligent they are is anyone's guess. If you want a university-educated woman with a decent job who doesn't only rely on you for money, good luck. The smart ones will make you wait so they can see what you're all about. Everybody seems to think that like everybody in Thailand is poor, and that's just not the case. Cool, I speak Japanese. Took me a while to do it, but learning the subtle shit about cultural stuff is something you get after hundreds of hours of being immersed in the language. It helps a lot. Okay, let me go on here. We got more here. If you plan on staying here, I'll assume you have the funds to do so. If not, you'll need to go back to the U.S. and wait for government to approve her visa. Good luck with that, especially now. Everything you're asking about is possible. However, you may need to revise your approach and timeline. Unless you want to hoe, finding a woman here is not as easy as going to 7-Eleven. I mean, it can be, but guess what? You're gonna pay. And I don't mean you're gonna pay like, you're in a relationship and you both love each other and that kind of stuff. You're gonna pay big. All right. Oh, they're trying to get into the mall. We can't get in, and they're like, why can't we go into the mall? Sorry, but they're not open yet. Japanese definitely seems challenging with the reading and writing aspects. Yes, my friend took Japanese in college, and he had a hell of a time with it. Yeah, I mean, just saying, of course, in the beginning and middle of learning language, shit will be frustrating. I wish I could have known the stuff I knew now, and it would have saved me some cringe moments. Yeah, there were a lot of things I would say just because I wanted to speak Thai, and then I look back and I go, ooh, why did I say those things? Let me go on here. Desperate measures usually get desperate results. He's better off to do things over a longer period of time. Like I always say, that I don't remember which Thai girl taught me it, but I remember hearing it more than once, and that is yak du nanan, which means I want to know you for I want to look at you for a long time so I can gauge what kind of, whether you're a piece of shit or you're a nice guy or whatever you are. All right, so let's see here. Let's see, what did he write me back? He wrote me back again. And what did he say? Let's see. Okay. I'm realizing, now this is what he is listening. And this is what separates the men from the boys, the chowderheads from the guys who are the they're part of the chowderhead protection unit or the anti-chowderhead brigade. He writes, thanks for the counsel. I'm realizing from what you wrote and things I've found online that it's probably too risky and complicated. Maybe being alone is not as bad as I thought. Much appreciated. So that's, I think, when I wrote to him and said, hey, it's not impossible. It's definitely not impossible, but to do it smartly, it's best not to rush it, especially if you don't know the culture and the language. I mean, why rush a relationship? I think that's a mistake. And I know there's guys out there, well, my mama met my daddy, and it was love at first sight, and the day after they met, they got married. They've been together 87 years. So don't be talking shit about them. Yeah, but that doesn't happen most of the time. That's a long shot. Everybody, most people have hit some kind of a long shot once in their life. It happens once in a while. Sometimes you win the lottery. Sometimes you don't, ever. So then he writes back, thanks. If I were, and again, this shows that he is using his brain to think. Thanks. If I were retired and flights cheaper, then this would be easier. LOL. Anyway, I appreciate your guidance on this. So, finally, someone smart enough to realize that, Everything you hear about, oh, those Thai girls, they're subservient and they wait on you hand and foot. They do everything that you ask them and they never, ever get upset. They're so sweet and demure. Really? Better think again. Women are women. Anyway, so there you go. Little mild possible Chowderhead letter. I like to call it, I got a letter. I think that one is a little better in this, more appropriate in this case. Yeah, but you get used to it. It becomes less of a I must study this hardened, crystallized version of Asiatic super foreign language to, oh, you use that word instead of that word. Yeah. I wish I didn't know what you're confusing me. I wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then. I wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then. Okay. Haha. My first wife was love at first sight. Sure enough, we divorced only 30 years later. Well, listen, anything can happen. I always say, the rules I make and the things I say, they're not set in iron. They're not set in stone, they're not set in iron. You know, everything in life, there is generally a little bit of flexibility. You gotta go with the flow. And I'll tell you what, I think that it's a wise move on a lot of the Thais now that they're not getting married until they're older. They're waiting until they're 28, 30, 32, because people do change. I mean, listen, my wife has changed, I've changed in the time we've been together. And I think the biggest constant is that, you know, we both value being married and we, you know, value the family and that kind of thing. And not everybody does. You know, some people don't have that example of their mother and father staying together. You know, I mean, it happens. And in the case of Thais, I can't tell you how many girls I've met over the years who, you know, they met some guy, they fell in love, they slept with him. Next thing you know, they get knocked up, the guy runs off, and they're alone. You know, because they didn't put the time in. You know, oh, he's so cute and he really likes me, and all I have to do is just open my legs up and he's gonna love me forever. That's not how it works. You know? I think we all know that as men, older men. Some of the younger men don't know it. You know. So there you go. This guy could have been a massive train wreck, and hopefully he doesn't just proceed anyway and just go, I couldn't help myself. I met this girl online. Her name was Juicy Lucy, and I just thought, she told me she was juicy because she liked to drink orange juice all the time. Problem was things didn't change. Yeah. Well, that too. I mean, you know, I understand, like, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. You know, if you would have asked me if I would have ever got married, I would have been like, why? Why would I get married? And then I started thinking, well, I would like to have some kids, you know. And now I got kids and they're off doing their own thing, and I'm like, you know, well, you have to get a Recovering Chowderhead t-shirt. Online now, baby. Recovering Chowderhead. I think it's up. I think it's up already. Yeah, so it's on the very first page. You go to AmericanInBangkok.com, there it is right there. Recovering Chowderhead. Not everybody is man enough to admit that they're recovering Chowderhead. Listen, I recovered a long time ago. I learned my lesson from a couple of them, and now I look back and I go, oh, God. Why was I like that? Why did I do that? Why did I what was I thinking? You know. I think once you get married, as long as you're happy with the person, and you're not going to be happy every minute of every day. You're not going to be like, oh, I'm so glad to be married. It doesn't work that way. But as long as most of the time you're fairly happy with the person, after a while, it's just, listen, I like going back to Surat again. There are people there. They've been together for 50-something years, almost 60 years, the one guy. What was the turning point? I got sick of nailing everything that moved and feeling absolutely nothing for them. What's advice for dudes who want to get married? Well, don't do it in the United States. Don't do it on the spur of the moment. And be prepared. It's not all rainbows and lollipops. Sometimes it's work, sometimes it's trying. Sometimes it's great and you're like, wow, this is so easy. We have such a good thing going on here. If you got a family, it's like, there are times when we're laying around watching movies, sitting in front of the TV watching movies, and we're all laughing our asses off, and then the movie finishes and we're just like shaking our heads going, oh my God. I was once a night, now I am 3 times a week. I don't get it. Sorry, Carl. I don't get it, man. It's probably flying right over my head. All right, so we'll talk about this some more in a few minutes. But let me read some of this stuff going on. I had somebody from the Ukraine look at my site last night and also from Russia. I'm like, how did that happen? Supposedly the Omicron virus has peaked in Thailand. I don't really know how. What is rainbow and lollipop? Oh, Gennaro. Gennaro, ask your lady to show you what the rainbow and lollipop is. Last week, some Thai doctors were predicting a doomsday scenario with up to 100,000 new COVID infections per day post Songkran. Now there's a new tune being sung. It's howdy doody time. A science lecturer from Chulalongkorn University says he believes Thailand has actually passed its Omicron peak as infections continue to trend downwards. In a Facebook post over the weekend, Chasada Denduang Boripan referred to Public Health Ministry data that shows a surge in Omicron cases in February, with infections peaking in early March. Chasada says case numbers subsequently began to rise again at the end of March due to the arrival of the Omicron BA.2 subvariant. However, the infection rate has continued to fall through April. Hence, we can confirm that the number of COVID-19 cases in Thailand is currently on a downward trajectory. The decline in infections is in line with the global situation, which saw new cases peak 2 months ago before falling. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Hence, we have to prepare to see these numbers increase for a while. Yesterday, Thailand reported 17,775 new infections and 128 COVID-related fatalities. I like how they make these linguistic changes, and it's like they do it without saying anything. All right. Let's Travel insurance, yeah, May 1st. So May 1st is big day. And so is April 22nd. So mark it on your calendar, April 22nd. That's when the big meeting is going to happen. And I'm going to, if I was a gambling man, I'm going to say that May 1st is going to show, they're going to show that they are ready to do away with everything, and they're not going to have any test requirements to come here. And when you get here, there's not going to be any of this after 5 days shit. When you land, you have to test shit. There's not going to be any of this. It's all going to be gone. I don't know if they're going to do away with the masks. They're not going to do away with the insurance, which is a bit, yeah. I don't know. I got no idea. Hey, for all you lurkers out there, why don't you do something useful, please? I'm going to say please, but why don't you do something useful? Click the thumbs up button. And because it doesn't cost you a damn dime. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're watching, there must be a reason why. So click the like button, please. 47 people, 25 thumbs up. Fangulo. What is this? 4 major American airlines are dropping the mask mandate. Yeah, I thought that was, I just read something about that. Andy, they're saying here, there's going to be a very bad flu season this year. The scaremongering has no limit. You know what, that's what I mean. You know, how can I say this? Your perception of the world changes from when you were a small child to as you grow up and you become a teenager, and then you become a 20-something, 30-something, and then by the time you get to be, 50, 60 years old, you start to realize that a lot of things that you perceived one way, they're not like that at all. I used to think, oh, the President of the United States, oh my goodness, wow, he's such a powerful man, and he is. He should be respected. Wow. And now I'm like, respect the politician? Respect is earned. I don't care if they're a politician or not. The President of the United States, the ruler of the free world. And so perception changes. And now my perception is, and it's funny because my friend was telling me the other day that he told people that around him that were saying, oh, you have to put your mask on. He goes, no, I don't. He goes, it's all bullshit. He's like, it's all bullshit. I'm not putting this mask on. And he goes, I really think if you take your mask off, you'll feel a lot better. And you know what? You're not going to get any sicker. You're healthy. You've been vaccinated. You're fine. And you know what? A lot of them took their mask off. Because, people just do, I got to put my mask on. And I'll admit, I come in here and I'm like, I don't want any hassles, so I put the freaking mask on. But the bottom line is, I think it's not helping me one bit. In fact, it's hurting me. I got nasal problems. My nose is smashed up on the inside to where I can barely breathe. What do I want to be putting a diaper over my face for? It makes no sense anymore. And so here in Thailand, when foreigners come here, it's the last thing that they want to do. I don't know the whole extent of everything, but during Songkran, apparently some of the foreigners basically told the police to fuck off. They wanted to play with water. And they were telling the police, no, and they were trying to shoot the water off. And my wife has made it something of a mandatory mission for me that I am supposed to go to Khao San Road on an evening, take her out there, and we'll have a beer or two each and either live stream or shoot video from there. So that should be coming pretty soon. I still haven't gone to Sarni's. I got all kinds of shit to do, and I just don't have enough time to sit down and plan everything out right now. Anyway, where are we at for time? We're at 80 minutes now. Keep getting those thumbs up, hitting that thumbs up, man. I want to get to 50 thumbs up. Can we do that? We're at 30 right now. Am I going to be able to nail another 20? I understand, Scott. I have a deviated septum and wearing a mask has really aggravated my sinusitis. Yeah. Well, I know I have a deviated septum, but, you know, my nose was broken when I was young. And, you know, plus I did blow when I was younger, like quite a bit. And, so between that and getting it busted up and you know, my nose is in bad shape. I'm doing well. I'm doing the same every day, which is what I always say here. Beer always asks me now, how are you today? Same. I'm same every day. I'm like this. And when I start getting grouchy and miserable and I get the blues a little bit, I go to sleep because that's what it is. I'm tired. I'm getting irritable and tired. And yeah, didn't the federal judge strike down the mandate for masks when flying? So people don't have to wear masks when they're flying, which is so funny. You got Fauci in there spouting off, you got to wear masks. No, you don't have to wear masks. I'm not sure now because things might be more dangerous to wear the mask. Oh, but you got to wear the mask now. You can't fucking make his mind up, that guy. And I don't even watch that much anymore. I can't bear to stand to watch Biden and whatever. I haven't heard anything about Cammie. I haven't heard anything about her in months. It's been a couple of months since I heard anything about her. What is she doing? Sitting on her fat ass? Come to Thailand. Come to Thailand, Joe. Put your toes in the sand, lean back, let the sun hit you. Have a Thai girl there fanning you from the side. Have your old lady out shopping somewhere so she's not whispering shit in your ear. And have some fun. That's what I suggest. Come to Thailand. That's the cure for everything. Here you go. Here's the hat that you promised to buy, Renegade. There you go. Or I don't know if this is the one, but there we go. I don't look half bad in this. I think I'm going to change my logo. I think from now on my logo is going to be the Captain Save-A-Ho. Just a little guy in the cape. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to change it. Kids here at Melbourne still have to wear masks at school, but that might change soon. Crazy. Crazy. Well, if you're planning on getting it getting one, it pays to get one while you're in the States as opposed to in Asia because it's more expensive to ship it to Asia because it's not coming from here. I don't have to handle all this. No, it's called the distressed hat. This is how it comes. You can buy them. You can buy the same design on a hat that doesn't look like this. That doesn't look. Chicks like this. I don't know why I got it, but you know, I put it on my old lady. Yeah, there you go, Carl. You got the right idea. Although I don't know with Biden, he'd probably have to pop a bottle of Viagra. Try to get himself up. I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, the thing is I don't know. Sometimes I think, you know, I watched what was that show called? something about space with Elon Musk. It's on Netflix. I forget the exact title. Return to Space or something like that. And I'm just thinking to myself, I remember working and being part of a team, and I'm not talking about in boxing. I'm talking about in other printing and the sales team and all this other stuff. And I think about that now, and I look at, I mean, listen, props to Elon Musk, but I think about those people that are working, and I think, what makes a guy want to go to space? Do I really care about it? Am I going to be like, well, it's a better life over there. I want to go to Mars and live on Mars. You spend billions and billions of dollars to go there. And for what? I mean, I understand you want to explore and see what the hell is there, what's on the moon. And then you get there and, okay, there's stuff there, but is it really that worthwhile? So let's spend another $300 billion. It's what I remember, the lady who was, I forget what her position was, but she was saying that it cost approximately $1 billion. That's what it breaks down to, $1 billion per astronaut to get them out into space. So $1 billion. Yeah, the SpaceX, right. I think it's called Return to Space. When I think about that, and I think about like everything going on in the United States, some of the things, they definitely affect me. What's going on in Russia with the Ukraine, okay, that affects people because of the oil and the possibility of nuclear war and all kinds of other smaller issues. Okay, that stuff, yeah, I keep an eye on it a little bit, but like, do I really think I'll ever go to space? Do I really give a shit? No, I don't. Do I really think we're going to get, like, the United States or Russia or the whole world is going to get obliterated by aliens? No, I don't. And if we do, okay. I haven't seen any signs of it yet. It's like a ghost. It's like my wife being scared of ghosts, or Ty's being scared of ghosts. I haven't seen a ghost yet. When I start seeing ghosts on a regular basis, it's not an anomaly. Oh, I saw a ghost last night. Was I high? Was I drunk? What was going on? Why did I see that? No, if it happens 3 or 4 times, then I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I know I'm stone cold sober. I guess there really are ghosts. But I haven't seen any aliens, nothing definitive. So I'm like, am I worried about getting shot down, blown up by a bunch of people out from a bunch of aliens? No, I'm not. So what the hell we got to go there for? Do we really need to go there to set up a colony? I don't think so. I'd like to see Casper, the friendly ghost. And my point is that, like, when it comes down to it, I've said this numerous times, especially in the last couple of years, most stuff is just not important. It's just not. And, I've said this as well. Yeah, your friends care about you. I was telling this to Nicholas. Your friends care about you. Okay, yeah, you're my bro. Yeah. But, the bottom line is, when the rubber hits the road, when the shit hits the fan, some people, they are your friend. They will come visit you in the hospital. They will help you if you need help. They will do. But there are many people that, and people find this out. You think they're your friends. They're not your friends. They're the fly-by-night friends. When times are good, they're your friends. When times are bad, they don't want to be your friends, which happens a lot here. And I think, that's why you focus on what's important. I don't know why I'm going off on this, but I think it has to do with the whole space thing, because I realized when I was watching the show, I was like, Jesus Christ, you got hundreds and hundreds of people working on this stuff. And for what? Okay, you got there. We did it. What else are you going to do? what are you going to do out there? I know it might be a little bit beyond me, but it's almost like the story of the fisherman. And I know everybody's heard it, and I don't know if I'll tell it the right way, but it's very simple. You got a guy, he goes out, he catches a fish every day, he's got his meal. Somebody sees him and they say, oh, really good at catching fish. Why don't you catch 5 fish, and then you can sell some, you make the money, and after a little while you can buy a boat, and you can go out and you can catch even more fish. Then you can take the money you make from that and buy a fleet of boats, and then you'll be rich. He's like, what do I need to be rich for? I got everything I need already. I go out every day, I catch a fish, and I'm fine. It's the same thing. So maybe that makes me a simpleton to think that way. But quite frankly, I don't give a shit. You know, really. Let's see, what else? Do we have anything else here? Anything else important? There's not much much that's very important going on here in Thailand. Pattaya Walking Street shows signs of life during Songkran. Now, Carlos has told his story and sent some photos and things, some video of what was going in his neck of the woods. And it looked like at least people were having some fun and dancing around and stuff like that. It wasn't, you know, completely crazy. But here in this article it says, Pattaya Walking Street shows signs of life during Songkran. I already said how Khao Road, it got a bit carried away, but in the end, the police went out and people don't play with the water. Walking Street remains a shadow of its pre-pandemic days, but Songkran gave hope that it may not be much longer until things return to normal. Pattaya has been busy during the Songkran holiday despite a ban on splashing in water. One follow-on from having many domestic tourists in town is that the few bars and restaurants open on Walking Street did good trade. Famous nightlife strip is still a disaster area, with the provincial electricity authority's much delayed construction project to bury overhead wires dragging on. And most go-go bars remain closed, with ones that are open not allowed legally to feature dancing girls. Well, we're going to have the girls dance. That's going to cause COVID. No, what's going to do is get the guys horny, and the guys are going to want to go over and whisper in the girls' ears, and that's what they're thinking. April 14th, both Thai and foreign tourists explored their options, finding live music and seafood available, plus go-go lounges. Walking certainly was better than driving in or around Pattaya, with traffic remaining heavy. Bali High Pier brimmed with tourists traveling to and from Koh Lan Island. Why would they say Koh Lan Island? Koh Lan, and beaches remained busy. They don't usually do that, but that was from the Pattaya Mail. Now let me go get some more water. I got cotton mouth. Hang on a second. All right, so where are we? Where were we? Let's see here. Pak Meng Beach, Trang. I wonder how actually, you know, I gotta be honest. I mean, I do like that beach. It was nice. It was a nice experience because I was there with the whole group. It's not my favorite beach. It's not my favorite beach, though. There's a lot of better beaches around. Excuse me. I wonder how the Russian and American astronauts are getting on the space station. I sleep just fine if walking streets sank into the ocean, never to return. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Hello, that was the secret location of the stream the other day. You just have to blabber it all out, don't you, Gennaro? Not that everybody couldn't figure it out. I saw where the cosmonauts wore blue and gold uniforms in support. They might be in trouble later. Yeah, you know, again, I don't really care. You know, hopefully, I mean, I don't want anything bad to happen between them or anything like that. I hope they get along just splendidly. But at the end of the day, it's not important to me. Good afternoon, Scott and all. Good afternoon, Mr. Dowlow. Hello, Dowlow. Did I put the link up to that? I think I did. Let me see here. Did I put the link up to that last video? Go check out that last video, man. I mean, that's about as raw as you're going to get. And I know some people want to hear about Chowderheads and stuff like that. Nice place. You know, not the best, but nice. All we are saying is give peace. God. I want peace. I want peace and quiet. I want serenity. And I'll tell you what, being down there in the South, oh, you know, it's great. It's my wife's mother's old place. It's my wife's place now. Oh, yeah, so great, so great. But, you know, the Thai way is that the family kind of sleeps together. And we have a couple of rooms there, but one of them, nobody wants to sleep in the room. The other one, the cats were in the room because they didn't want the cats running around the house at night, waking people up. And then there was another room where the guy and his wife were sleeping, and then Nicholas ended up sleeping in there with them. And then the front room, there was like me, my wife, her uncle, her brother, her brother's wife, the daughter, and then who was the other guy? I forget, another guy and his wife. And that's just kind of how it is. And, you know, like, I'm not complaining. But that's how it is. But, I mean, you know, like, it's not like you can do much when, like, for me, I know I snore. But, like, I'm trying to get to sleep, and I hear other people snoring, like, from across the room loudly. And I'm laying there, and I'm like, oh, man, I just want to try to get to sleep. How are babies made in these sleeping arrangements? Well, fortunately, me and my wife don't want any more babies. Very much on the sly, or very quickly. Or in the bathroom, you know. Or for some reason, you find a reason, oh, you know what, we're going to stay behind because we have a few things to do. And everybody leaves and you're like, okay, you know. Newbie question, but are there any places in Thailand that are unsafe, no-go areas for foreigners? Some would say in the deep south. Narathiwat, Patani, and Yala. Although I've been to, I think it's Narathiwat. I think I've been to 2 of the 3 places. I have to look at a map because I don't remember. I think I've been to Yala and Narathiwat. I think if you don't speak any Thai, and you go to those areas, you know, you might be just fine because they're not really going after foreigners. But if any place is a little touchy, that's where it would be. It's not that big of a deal. Let me look at a map real quick because I don't tend to remember very well. Map of... You're going bird watching. Interesting. You like bird watching. Birds are like one of my birds and insects. I kind of like. I actually took a picture. I should put this up in the community tab. But I took a picture of a praying mantis on the wall right outside of our bathroom. And I took 5 or 6 pictures of them, and then of them. It was only one. And I think those are pretty cool. But on the whole, I don't particularly like insects, and I'm not real fond of the average little bird. I like stuff like eagles, hawks, owls. I like those. I like the ones that they'll kick ass, you know. Let me see here. I am more interested in the virgin forest. Is there a forest of virgins? Ugh. So I'm not scared of being kidnapped or anything. I'm not scared of them directly. I'm scared of getting in a crossfire. Well, I mean, that could happen damn near anywhere. It's called Halabala Wildlife Preserve. You know, when I went, I got to tell you something. My wife has been telling me there's only one Koh Chang. I'm like, no, there's not. And, you know, the other day we had this little disagreement, we'll say, because she told me, buy the ticket from Suratani, the train ticket home. I bought the ticket from Suratani. We ended up going out for the day. Well, I streamed, we did our thing or whatever. And then it's okay, we're gonna go. She wanted me to buy the ticket to Suratani. I buy the ticket to Suratani. She says, we're gonna go, and we got a couple of things to do beforehand. I'm like, all right, well, I don't know what we're doing. We stopped at like 3 different places. We ended up in Chaya, which is where we came back. They're called Staw. So we ended up going back to Chaya. We're sitting there, we're looking for a place to eat. We finally find a place to eat. We end up saying goodbye to everybody. And she goes, the train's not gonna be here at 5:08. I said, the time on the ticket is 5:08. The train's gonna be here at 5:08. Now I had forgotten that I got the ticket from Suratani, not Chaya. So she's telling me, the train's not gonna be here at 5:08. I go, yes it is, it's on the ticket. If it's on the ticket, that's the time it's gonna be here. And she's like, you're not listening. We're not in Suratani, we're in Chaya. You bought the ticket for Suratani. And I'm like, oh. Well, the other day, yesterday morning, she says to me, there's only one Koh Chang. And I said, no, there's not. There's more than one. She says, okay, show me. So I showed her the Koh Chang in the east, which is where everybody thinks of. When you say Koh Chang, that's where they think of. Big tourist destination, you know, near like Sumet and all that, over there by Sumet. So I show her it. And then I see on the map, Koh Payam, Koh Chang, and I show it to her. I'm like, so, just like I was wrong the other day, you're wrong. Wrong. And she's just shaking her head. Because she didn't know. And that's how, what's the word I'm looking for? Let me think if I can remember the word. Unknown. That particular kochang, people just don't know about it. All right, so let me see here. My wife says there's a stinky bean they love to eat in Thailand. Yeah, it's called staw. And I believe, I don't know if I put the picture of it up on my Instagram, but I probably am if I haven't done so already, or maybe in my Facebook. But I did take a picture of some. My wife loves them. The only problem is that when you pee, everybody will know you've been eating staw. If you're peeing in the house, or you take a dump, everybody will smell the smell of staw. They will know your piss and your shit has been tainted because you have eaten staw. It's so strong, it's so stinky, that you can smell it when somebody takes a piss. And I love the things. My wife, in fact, I think in one of the videos I was saying to her, are you eating that without cooking it now? And she'll eat them raw. I don't like them raw. Yeah, it's called stink bean in English. It's called staw in Thai. It's a thaw. And I love them when they're cooked. They're fantastic. And exactly. You eat them every day, so you love them too. They're really good. They got a great flavor, and especially in the right curry, they really add a nice flavor to the dishes that are made up, but especially curry. I really like that. And you know, the only thing is that if I had a meal and then I went and took a piss 2 hours later, and somebody walked by the bathroom, they'd go, whoa, what's that smell? It's the stink bean, it ain't my piss. Love the sticky rice and banana cooking video. Looking forward to getting me some next month. Yeah, I liked that video, and I liked watching the whole process. I got several videos that are going to be like that. I really like the one where, but it's going to take a bit of work for me to edit it. But I really like the one where I'm talking to the guy, which is he's my brother-in-law. His name is Dam, and he's talking to us about Kratom and the difference now and between now when it's legal and before when it was illegal, and the difference between the two kinds of plants and all this other stuff is really cool. I'm interested in all that stuff. I don't want to be a farmer. I don't want to be the grower. I want to be the consumer. I'll splash some water around or turn the sprinklers on or something like that, but I don't want to be the one planting everything. I enjoy watching some down-home cooking. Yeah, I mean, you know, one of the things that I really want to do this is the next time we go down to Surat, I want to go to the durian farm, her brother's durian farm, where the elephants are. And I want to get some footage of the elephants, which means I'll have to use my long lens. But I also want to really do a day in the life of what, I guess she would be my sister-in-law. Yeah, sister-in-law. Her working out there, because she's almost 60. And she's out there busting her ass every day. So, jeez, this guy's fucking irritating. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Just planted 10 kratom trees at the farm. Don't know how well they will grow in udon, but we will see. Let me tell you something. the plant that we're talking about, one of the plants, there's 2 plants on the property. And one of them, I said, how long did this take to grow? He said, this is 4 months old, and it was about 7 feet tall. I'm like, holy shit. He's like, yeah, they grow really, really fast. And they grow to be huge. And, what was funny is that there's a bunch of different guys in the group. One guy in particular really knows about the jungles, man. He was going, oh, look at this. This happens when this happens, and look at this. And there was it's like shaped like let's just say that it's shaped like I don't want to say like a condom, but it's shaped like a condom. I mean like an open condom hanging. And not with anything in it, but open. And the reason that what it does is it's on the, I don't remember what they're called, maybe Steve knows. They hang from it's like a bell, it's like a long tubular, I got pictures, I'll have to put them up. But they hang from the vine, and then insects will fall in them, and then they eat it closes up. Kind of like a Venus flytrap kind of thing. It's it eats its prey, but you wouldn't know. And it also collects water, so the animals want to go down in it to drink the water. It's really pretty cool, but he was telling me about that. He showed me all kinds of stuff out there in the jungle. I was like, holy shit, man. He's walking around going, oh, you can eat this. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what it's called. The Golden Triangle area is interesting. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I've been there. I've gone hiking there, and it's pretty cool. I wouldn't say it's a good place to score. I mean, you can, but first of all, from what I know and from what I've seen, they want to give you the lower grade shit. And I'm talking about the, what do you call it? The opium. They want to give you the lower grade opium. They don't want to give you the good shit. No, I didn't see any snakes, none. And I kept saying that to my wife. I was like, are you sure we should walk around here? There might be cobras or something like that. She's like, stop talking about it. If you talk about it, they're going to come. Which I can't stop laughing when I think about it because, and I put the little video up, or I sent the video. I don't remember how I got it out, but I think I sent it through messages to a few people, where I'm going, okay, I got to walk down this hill. It's a little bit steep here. I got to be careful I don't slip. And the next thing I know, I slipped and fell. And we went walking down there for her to collect some vegetation to be used with eggs. And I was a little bit worried about the snakes there because it was a bit deep, and I had my sandals on, and I'm like, this is how people get bit. So it was an interesting trip, and I do like being there. But you do need to prepare yourself because it's a bit harsh, That's the only way I could put it. It's a bit harsh. You don't have air conditioning. The air conditioning you get is inside of the vehicle. You're inside, and that's another thing. Is I was getting in and out of the pickup truck. I was going into the back of the pickup truck, and the pickup truck was kind of high up. It was not easy for me to get in. In the old days, I kind of just jumped up in one jump, but now I can't do that. And it got to the point where I was like, man, I don't think I should be doing this anymore. I think I'm gonna have to stop riding in the back of these high pickups. So, they know I'm like the old man there, which is a bit hard to stomach, but I'm the old guy out of everybody. No, she's not here. Not yet, at least. I don't know where she is. She told me she was going away I don't remember where the hell she told me she was going. The A team is gone. I haven't seen the other one, what's her name, Tian. I haven't seen her forever. Maybe one of these days I'll go and stream from the hospital, but it's one of my least favorite places. So, but all in all, it was a good time. And aside from some places being obvious sticklers for wearing masks, you know, expecting you to wear masks, everything is normal. I mean, nobody's asking to see your vaccination records or any of that bullshit. Now, I will say this: we went to what's it called? The lagoon. Damn it, I can't remember. Morakot, which is it's a lagoon in Krabi. It's very popular. It's too goddamn popular. We went there before. I've been there twice now. This is the third time. And you know, it's like we're doing all these things. We went to like 3 different places out in the jungle, which is tough because the car's bumping up and down. I mean, not bumping up and down, but like, you know, you're being thrown all over the place. It's a rough road, man. And then you stop and you go out, and it's like you get out of the car, it's like walking into a sauna. And you're out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's just like one little hut or like one little house, very small. It's a working house. It's basically there so you can sleep and you can eat when you're off of work, and you can stay there. So we did that, and then we went to the beach, hung out at the beach. We went somewhere else on the way back. I think we went to the old guy's house, which is a bitch to get to that place. And then finally we went. It was like 4 o'clock. And they closed at like 5, and we went to the lagoon there, the Green Lagoon. And I get there, and my whole family is walking in. Nobody is asking them for payment. Nobody's saying anything. So I just walk along, and all of a sudden this guy comes, hey, you. And I'm like, what? He's like, you come over here. I said, why? You foreigner. I said, oh, shit. You come to the foreigner line. And I go, okay. So I go and I start walking in. He goes, no, you have to pay. I go, my family didn't pay. Yeah, you foreigner, you pay. Normally, it was that the Thais would pay 20 baht and the foreigners pay 200 baht. But I guess because it was Songkran, the Thais didn't have to pay. But the foreigner has to pay. And I'm like, listen, I don't have my bag. My wife's got my bag. She's got my cash. She's got everything. She's up there. I said, I got to go in and get her. And he's like, oh, no, you cannot go in. And I go, well, then how the hell am I supposed to pay? I said, just wait a minute. And I'm telling him all this in Thai. So finally I walked in. And I go to her and I go, I got to pay this guy. Give me the bag. Go back, I pay the guy, and he's like, yeah, everybody pay. And I go, the Thais, don't tell me everybody's paying, only foreigners are paying. Which that irritated me. You know, they're always out to try to do that. They're always to stick it to you. You know, I understand it's their country, yada, yada, yada. But, you know, it's like, okay, how many years do I have to be here before the color of my skin doesn't mean I pay more money? You know, when the Thais weren't paying anything, I was just walking in with them. The guy just happened to see me, and he's like, oh, you come here. I'm like, why? Like, what the fuck do you want? You're just like you're like a little crossing guard or whatever, you know? All booked to go on to 29th of May. You know how many days? You counting? You got it marked out on the calendar? If not, you should. 29 days and 11. 40 days. 40 days and counting. Excellent. All right, let me see this here. Okay, I already talked about the walking streets. We don't need to talk about that. What about the May 1st? Jono is doing well. I spoke to him 2 days ago, and he's been golfing, and he found a place where they had a special on the hotel, and includes breakfast and everything. It was something like 1,200 baht, 1,100 baht, something like that. Nice hotel. And then you play a round of golf there, which is additional. When to him, that was like I'm traveling on a little getaway, because he's not in his own little neighborhood there. So, but he's very happy doing that. And I think, Jono has the life that he wants now, He's happy in his little area there. Okay, this was the change that I'm talking about before we finish up here. Applicants can use their approved, this is at least from now until the end of the month. Applicants can use their approved Thailand Pass QR code to enter Thailand on a different date of arrival if the new date of arrival is within 7 days before or after the original date of arrival as indicated on the QR code. This starts from April 18th. You do need to rebook hotels and hotel van transfer plus change the dates in your insurance. But you don't need to upload to the Thailand Pass website. Just show the check-in and on arrival to health authorities. They're making a big deal about this. It's really not that big of a deal, because at this point, so many places are opening up now that people are starting to go, well, when are you just going to open the fuck up? Why is it like this? Why can't you just open up? It's not that dangerous. So hopefully that will happen. I'm hoping to meet some YouTube celebrities when I'm there. God. I would never commit. You know what? I don't care if you're in a movie. I guess if you're in a movie and you're like in a blockbuster and you've been in, like Johnny Depp, which, he's got a share of issues with, look at him. Look at his share of issues with Amber Heard. He got, it's not like that guy couldn't get laid, but he picked out a primo looking woman, and she's just turned out, from what I've seen, it seems to me, I could be wrong, but I don't think so, she's a royal pain in the ass. Royal piece of ass, but royal pain in the ass. But aside from somebody like him, I think most of the people, I think we've figured out that celebrities are they're just people like we are. No big deal. Hello, gotta love Thailand. Hello, Newman. Oh, Jesus Christ. Gennaro, why do you have to prod me? You're like prodding the sleeping tiger. I want to buy an American in Bangkok, a damn espresso. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that. I tell you something. That has never, just speaking frankly about this, it's never been one of my favorite dishes. It's not like pad thai, it's not like pad see ew, kai gio musap, something like that. It's never been a meal that I was like, oh my God, I got a craving for some pad krapao. It's never been like that. But it's a staple dish here that he was smart for using that because, I mean, you could use pad thai, I guess, but like that's almost too normal, too overeaten. Everybody, you know, you can get pad thai damn near anywhere. You can't always get pad kapow, but I mean, when you get it, I mean, it's easy to get. I could go across the street right now and get some. I could go somewhere in the mall, I could get some. Same thing with pad thai, but it's not eaten as much as pad thai. So he was kind of smart for going with that because people go, I want a little something different. I don't feel like having pad thai. But you get sick of eating the same shit here. Nicholas bought me some, I think it was Nicholas. Yeah, yesterday he went out and got some breakfast and he bought me some mu ping. Oh my God, it was good. It was so good. I haven't been eating that very much. And it just, this batch was cooked perfectly. Yeah, get me a coconut water. That's it. That's a ticket. You'll see the coconut, where the coconuts we had came from. And then Nicholas made himself a big bowl of coconut water with the meat in it. I would have guessed that pad kapow would be eaten more than pad thai unless you're talking about foreigners. Yeah, I'm talking about foreigners. I don't know about, yeah, probably, but by Thais it's probably eaten more. But I think by foreigners it's more popular, like in the West. Okay, that's something else I have to talk about because this guy wanted to come over here. He wants to meet a girl. Blah blah blah. I think one of the most idiotic, the dumbest thing you can do is because you want to stay in Thailand, you get married. If you love the girl, if you really want to be with her, and you know her very well, that's a different story. But if you're just coming here and you're like, I'm going to marry this girl because she'll marry me and because I want to stay in Thailand, but I don't love her, I don't really give a shit about her, I'm going to cheat on her, I'm going to do all this other stuff. Personally, I think that's an idiotic thing to do because you're asking for trouble. Yeah, I love mu ping. It's good stuff. And you know, it's very easy to eat. It's good street food. You know, you can eat it walking along, you can eat it sitting on a bench or on the side of a wall or whatever it is, you know. You know, I kind of just, I always have my doubts. Is he just bullshitting? Or, you know, what is the reasoning? Why would you just get married so you can stay in Thailand? I understand it's your life, but then when you, but later on when you come back and you go, oh, shit didn't work out, and the family's pissed off because I knocked her up, and they want 300,000 baht or something like that, we'll see if you're still singing the same tune. You know, yeah, exactly. It's your life. You can do what you want. Frankly, you know, when it comes down to it, I don't give a shit. I mean, you know, it is your life. Has no effect on me. I'm telling you, though, as someone who, I would say, I have a fair bit more experience than you and life experience, I think doing it for the wrong reason. I mean, even in a business relationship where you just go, listen, honey, I'll give you 100,000 baht, you marry me, and this will allow me to do everything I need to do. I think it's just a bad move, man. It's not a good move. But you do what you want. It is your life, and I do what I want. It's my life, and I do what I want. Yeah. So I fully understand that. But I would not recommend that to anybody. And if anybody's listening to me, I would say, don't get married just to stay in Thailand. You know, a smart Thai chick will make your life a living hell, and you will end up having to leave Thailand because you don't want to end up dead, or you don't want to end up having to pay a shitload of money, or you don't want the police after you. Listen, it's very easy for her to call the police and have the police lock your ass up. She could say a couple of things, and they're not going to believe you, and you're going to be stuck. And it's just like I say, and I know a couple of people in the stream are with women who have some kind of affiliation with the police or immigration or whatever. If you have a choice between being with a woman who she's a police officer or whatever she is with the police, and being with somebody who's an office worker, personally, I take the office worker. And that's just because of the what if. That's the only thing. And maybe nothing happens of it, just like with you. Maybe you end up with this chick and you don't really love her, and she thinks she loves you, and you end up loving her and you end up staying with her. Who knows? I don't know. Risk reward, calculated risk. That's the way I look at it. Anyway. Before you get married, though, you must have one of these hats. Get yourself one of these hats, renegade. You're not allowed to get married without having one. God, I got to start getting my hair cut like every week now. Getting balder by the minute. All right, I think that wraps it up here. That's a wrap, baby. Last week, tourism officials announced that they plan to present a proposal to cancel Thailand's test and go entry scheme at the next meeting of the CCSA, the Tourism Authority of Thailand, along with the Ministry of Tourism and Sports, along with what's his name, Anutin, the health minister. They're presenting the proposal at the next meeting on April 22nd, which is Friday. So we will know Friday afternoon what their decision is, although I'm leaning towards it's a sure thing. Tourism and Sports Minister Pipat Ratchaprakarn said that if the changes are approved starting May 1st, tourists will be able to enter Thailand using only vaccine passports. They would no longer have to wait 3 to 5 days for their documents to be approved in the Thailand Pass online registration system. In the proposed plan, PCR tests on arrival for foreign travelers are expected to be replaced by antigen tests. Oh, so you're still going to have to take the antigen. The June 1st, I think, is the date where they say everything is completely done away with. The proposals are yet to be discussed and have to be approved by the CCSA and the Thai cabinet before being enacted. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, yeah, that about wraps it up. Yes, have a great day. It looks like the sun is fighting to get out right now, but still very overcast, unfortunately. You take fish oil? No, I have, but I don't. Andy, howdy do. See you later, alligator. What's today? Today's Tuesday. I should have a video going up Thursday, no later than Friday, and then another one on probably Saturday or Sunday, and I'll probably be streaming sometime this weekend. I'm trying to just stream like twice a week, videos twice a week. Frees up some time for me, and it's a little easier on me because I got a lot of shit going on right now. But thank you everybody for joining me. I appreciate it. If you go up to the top of the chat, you use the word chowder and you can get 10% off 10% off all products on my website at anamericaninbangkok.com. Also, you can click thumbs up. You can subscribe. You can become, and everything's in the description, you can become a sponsor of my channel simply by clicking the join button down beneath the video window. What else? I've got my social media down there. I've got a couple of other ways you can help support the channel. So I appreciate it, whatever you guys can do. I think I'll have a little video where I'm sitting in front of the camera again. I got a subject I'd like to go over. You guys might find it interesting. It's something I learned when I was in Suratani and also in Chumphon. So that about wraps it up. Black seed oil, Nigella sativa seems to be the magic juice. I don't know. For me, I like the Kratom. I do like the Kratom. Welcome home. Well, thank you, Dallo. It's good to be home. It is good to be home. It's good to be home, but like I said in some of the videos and some of the footage, I was like, you know what? I love this jungle out here. All I need is a beach, a little bit, maybe 20 minutes away, and it'd be perfect. Before I go, one other thing is, one thing I've realized in Chumphon and Suratani is that in some of these provinces, because you're out in the middle of nowhere or close to the middle of nowhere, it's much more difficult to get around. So if you're living there, you definitely need to have at least a motorbike, if not a truck or a car. Whereas in Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Pattaya, Phuket, you can get around very easily. But once you get out in some of these places, it's not so easy to get around. And where we were, nobody was going to be taking us 3 hours into the jungle on a shitty road. And I mean, when I say road, I use that word loosely, because at the jungle place that we went to first, the durian farm, when we turned, I was like, wait a minute, this is just all grass. Where the hell are we going? There was no path anymore. It was just grass. And the grass led to the house. So it's not easy to get around. So, that's another thing to consider. As much as I like being isolated, I don't want to be too isolated. And I think you got to remember that, It's all nice for a couple of days, but then when you have to go to the grocery, you're not going to be eating unless you feel like picking something off the tree. You want some milk and cereal, and it's going to take you 3 hours to get there. It's not so much fun. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you very much. Until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American back in Bangkok. Don't forget to check out my website, and I will talk to you guys later. Chok di leo chok en mai. All right? Good luck and see you later. Woohoo. Get the best of everything. Travel wherever you want. Really interesting places. Yeah, but you know what, Dallo? I'm getting to that point where I want a place that's better than where I am here in Bangkok. And our house is starting to have some issues. And it would be nice to be somewhere like when I woke up, I took a little walk and boom, I'm right there on the beach. I'm hanging out. And my wife is almost in that spot as well. It just might be a couple more years, 2-3 more years, and we should be there. And that's long awaited. I've been waiting for a long time for that. So we'll see what happens, but we're headed in the right direction. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later.